It's not so often when a sequel reverses everything the first movie did right for the sake of a few bad critics and upset parents. The hype of this movie was a blur to me as I was still heavily invested in part 1, but I can only imagine how excited kids were to see the continuation of a popular and beloved franchise on the big screen once again. Little did we know it was all about to go downhill into the sewers. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze was released in 1991, just a year after the first film. Now, granted that in today's timeline, the first movie is considered a classic, the greatest Ninja Turtles movie ever made, and extremely loved by the Turtle fanbase. But at the time of its release, parents weren't too happy with it, seeing how it's a departure from the cartoon. It gave children nightmares and contained a dark nature, adding to the choice of language. So what could possibly go wrong? Well, thanks to all that feedback and criticism, the sequel underwent a revamp that not only changed the style for the worse, but cursed the future of Turtle movies to come. Before I talk about some of the things I do like, let's get the obvious out of the way. The first movie had such amazing costumes that it almost looked real. Every expression was distinctive enough to give each turtle their own style and emotion, and it simply just proved what hard work and effort can do. But here, in this movie, the turtles look like complete ass. Sure, it's a little more cartoon accurate with their happier nature, but man, what a huge letdown. Completely unforgiving. I mean, I don't know what to really tell you. I know it's not that bad, at least compared to what came after this, but just look at them. And don't even get me started with Splinter, I'll let that one speak for itself. I believe some of the voice actors changed too, except for maybe 1 or 2 turtles. The turtles weren't allowed to use their signature weapons anymore due to parents deeming it to be too violent. Therefore, they used whatever props they can find, like sausages substituting for nunchucks, or just straight up using martial arts, which was fine. April O'Neil gets a new actress, Casey Jones disappears, and now we get this new ally named Kino who's a pizza delivery boy. The story roughly has the same concept but totally diminishes the turtles' growth from the first film, as if it never happened, cause Splinter still treats them like kids and Raph and Leo continue to argue. The turtles eventually discover they were an accident created by the green mutagen substance called Ooze, after Professor Jordan Perry, aka the knockoff Baxter, shares some information about toxic waste leakage that's harmless to April, who's trying to expose him and the company TGRI. Once again, Donatello reflects, feeling like his purpose in life is merely an accident and wants to prove it offers more. Now, this is where the movie takes a wild spin. Lo and behold, Shredder returns with a slightly updated outfit in purple and more sharp edges on the helmet, after somehow miraculously surviving the dumpster murder, which makes no sense, played by a different actor too. And he also creates a new hideout within the city dump with the remaining Foot Clan ninjas and Tatsu. He also discovers the mutagen ooze can be beneficial to his new schemes while trying to get revenge on the turtles. We also get introduced to 2 newly created monsters, which makes this film more kid-friendlier by adding Tokka and Razar to the roster. Now, despite half of the movie pissing off Shredder because they are babies, in which they hilariously consider him as their mama, at least they look incredible and a little bit scary. Once again, no CGI, all complete animatronics, the good old 90s fashion. Originally, these were supposed to be Rocksteady and Bebop, but you know, there were some conflicts behind the scenes. So the rest of the movie shows us the turtles relocating from the sewers to their new home, which is the abandoned subway station. Both the turtles and the Foot try to get answers from Jordan Perry while stopping Shredder and his new mutants, and that's about it. So now, let's talk about what I do like about this movie. There's surprisingly good enough action consisting of martial arts, as the turtles stop thugs at the mall, the turtles fighting the Foot at the TGRI lab, Raphael fighting the Foot when trying to rescue Kino, the turtles fighting the Foot at the dump when trying to rescue Raphael, and then the best one of them all, when the turtles fight Tokka and Razar at the construction site. Not only do we see them get their asses kicked, but Michelangelo gets tossed into the wall, which there happens to be a frickin' club right next door. And here, not only do we see Vanilla Ice performing, but the turtles also break into a dance sequence singing "Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go." I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm even watching at this point. Although there is more fighting amongst the turtles, I just hate how Tatsu finally gets a chance to show how badass he is, but in a pathetic display of nonsense, he gets wrecked by a shell shock. Tokka and Razar get defeated after failing to drug them with donuts by a fire extinguisher, and just when you think the movie's over, you forget Shredder exists, as he comes to finish the turtles once and for all. Michelangelo then blasts his ass with a keytar onto the docks, which you think the movie is finally over again, but we get one more fight. This happens to be my only favorite scene of the whole movie, as the mutagen ooze Shredder had in his hand is consumed and he becomes Super Shredder, aka Kevin Nash. And holy shit does he look amazing. The colors finally give it that first movie vibes with its darker tones, and as a kid I couldn't wait for them to battle. How could the Turtles possibly defeat this guy now? I mean, look at him, he's a beast. Unfortunately, Shredder causes his own demise by having the docks collapse on him because he's an idiot. And even though he's Super Shredder, he gets defeated by none other than himself, and not to mention a few pieces of wood. What a disgrace. With some hard jokes to ease the mood, the Turtles celebrate in victory, but I can tell you one thing, people who watched it definitely weren't. Overall, this movie is okay and it's decent to watch for time pass. It's really not that bad the more I watch it, but compared to the first film, it's a total joke. Everything I loved about the first movie, this one does the complete opposite. I can't help but to feel disappointed when I look at this movie, as it could have been a lot better in so many ways, but failed a lot of expectations. Although I give this movie a lot of crap, I give it credit that it's at least better than the follow-up, and at the moment, we'll just leave it at that. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze, and I'll talk to you all next episode.